Have you ever lost the opportunity to serve the Lord? Hello, my name is Ken Yates, and I am with Grace Evangelical Society, and I would like to discuss that topic. When we do not believe in what the Lord tells us, we lose an opportunity to serve Him. Because if we're going to serve Him, we have to hear what He wants us to do, and then we have to believe it. And there's an example of this in Luke chapter 1. And it's a very clear example of a time when we have a believer, and I would say a mature believer, who believes many things from the Lord, but when the Lord tells him something, one particular thing, he doesn't believe it. And because he doesn't believe it, he loses the opportunity to serve the Lord. And I would say that this is an example of losing a reward. I'm talking about a man by the name of Zacharias. And we're told in Luke chapter 1 that he was a righteous man. And we see from his life that he was a man who was looking for the coming kingdom. He believed in the coming Christ. He believed the promises that God had made to the nation of Israel. And we're told that he and his wife, and they were both from priestly families, that they were righteous and they were blameless. They made it their goal to live in such a way that would be pleasing to the Lord. And obviously that took faith. That took believing in what the Lord told him. The Lord told him that they should live a righteous life, even though they were subjugated by the Romans. They made it their ambition to be pleasing to Him. And you all know the story. What happened was he was, as a priest, selected by Lot, and this would only, from what I understand, would only happen once in his life, to go into the holy place and burn incense on the altar of incense, which represented the prayers of the people going up to God. And certainly what they were praying for was the coming of the Christ, the coming of the kingdom of God, and Gabriel appears to him. And Zacharias and his wife were not able to have children. They were up in years. I don't know if she was through menopause or how old she was, but she was barren and wasn't able to have children. And Gabriel comes and tells Zacharias, who believed all these things about the Lord, all these promises that the Lord had given, said, Elizabeth is going to have a son. And not just any son. He's going to have the son she is going to have the boy that is going to pave the way for the coming Messiah. He's going to come in the spirit of Elijah, this one that the whole nation has been waiting for. And so what did Zacharias do when he heard that? He says in verse 18 of Luke chapter 1, how shall I know this? Because Elizabeth and I are up in years. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe that Elizabeth could get pregnant. They've been trying too long. They're old. It's not going to happen. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? He believed in the coming Christ. He believed in the coming kingdom. There's an angel there. He believes that's an angel from God. He believes all these things. He believes that God is able to free Israel from domination by the Romans. He believes all that. But he doesn't believe that. And he goes, give me a sign. Convince me that Elizabeth is going to have a child, because I don't believe it, and I'm not going to believe it until you give me a sign. And even though that's sad, it's also kind of funny what Gabriel says. If you read the next verse, Gabriel says, I have been sent here from God, notice, to speak to you great news, good news, that Elizabeth is going to give birth to Elijah. He's going to pave the way for the coming king. This is the one who's going to bring the kingdom to the nation of Israel. And you want a sign? Well, I came here to speak this good news. Your sign is you will not be able to speak this good news to others. I'm told that when Zacharias left the temple out of the holy place, well, we're told that there were people waiting for him. And I'm told that when the priest would come out after this wonderful event, with this wonderful privilege of burning the incense, the people would have been waiting for a blessing. This was his one chance in life to deliver this sermon to all these people waiting for him out there, and he can't say a word. And think of the sermon that he had. What a sermon he had, right? To come out and say, guess what? Gabriel just appeared to me, and the Messiah is coming, and Elizabeth is going to give birth to the one who's going to pave his way. Folks, this is what we've been waiting for. It's not too much to say this was the greatest sermon in the history of Israel, one that God himself had given to Zacharias through this angel Gabriel, and he couldn't say a word. And for 9 months, he couldn't say a word. In the synagogues, when Elizabeth's belly was getting bigger and bigger, he couldn't say, see that boy there? That's going to be the one who paves the way for the Christ, and he's going to be my son. What a loss of opportunity Zacharias had. You know, if you're a preacher, imagine if God had given you a fantastic sermon and you just couldn't wait to tell people, but you couldn't because your tongue didn't work. Zacharias lost a reward, lost an opportunity to serve the Lord because he didn't believe what the Lord told him to do. Obviously, there's a lesson for us, right? When we read something in the scriptures, believe it. And then we can see how the Lord will use us because we believe what he tells us. If you like this video, I'd ask that you would press the like button and the subscribe button, and that you would continue to check out the videos put out by Grace Evangelical Society. And remember, keep grace in focus.